All right, I'm live. So this past week, I was on the John Alite podcast. John Alite and Michael Dowd are partners on their own podcast, and I had the privilege of being on, and it helped me promote my own podcast, Serious and Silliness. I actually went down about 6 weeks ago, and they didn't air it till this week. But I went down. The studio was in Boca Raton, Florida, at the Berman Law Group. It's a lawyer's office, the Berman Law Group, and they have a studio and they rent it out. And man, it was some experience, man, meeting those guys. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to play a little bit here and there, show you what it was like. And, it was pretty funny, pretty entertaining. And I'm also going to put the link of the entire John Alite show that I was on in the description area. And go over there and give them a subscribe and a like, share. They're funny, but so let me explain who they are. If you guys don't know who John Alite and Michael Dowd are, we'll start off with John Alite because it's his show and Michael Dowd is his partner. It's really both their shows. So John Alite spent 18 years in prison. He grew up in Ozone Park, Queens, and during the 70s and 80s when he was growing up, Ozone Park, Queens was kind of similar to Bensonhurst, where it was like all Italian and a lot of mafia. And obviously the most popular guys from Ozone Park were the Gottis, John Gotti and his son John Gotti Jr., and they were from that neighborhood. And that's who he basically worked for. He was an enforcer for John Sr., really good friends with John Jr., and of course, what happens when you're in that life? Inevitably, you wind up in two spots, dead or in jail. Lucky for him, he wound up in jail. The one thing I could say about John Alite, though, is he was no wannabe. He was the real deal. He was no joke. I have a friend at work that grew up in Ozone Park. He's a little bit older than me. I told him I was going to be on the show. And he said, "You're going to be on John Alite's show?" He goes, "When I was a kid, that guy ran the whole neighborhood." So he was a legitimate tough guy. Nobody messed with this guy. And he made a lot of money. Of course, he was into mostly bookmaking, loan sharking. I think he had a couple of legit businesses. I believe he had a nightclub. I believe he had a parking garage business, if I'm not mistaken. I'm pretty sure it was parking garage businesses. Anyway, he went on a run, and after he got caught, the guy, he was the real deal. So he was arrested for murder. I mean, beatings, stabbings, murder, like I said, RICO law, racketeering, bookmaking, loan sharking, the whole deal. The thing was, John Alite probably would have been a made member of the mafia back then, but he's Albanian, so he couldn't be made. But he got to the point, from what I understand, he got to the point where he was so respected that he had his own little crew. And they almost treated him like a boss, if you will. And he gained a lot of respect. I first heard of him. Now, I grew up in Brooklyn, Brooklyn, then Staten Island. And I didn't know him because I didn't know the Gottis were not really much into Brooklyn. I mean, Sammy Gravano was from Bensonhurst and whatnot. Everybody knows that. But I didn't know the guys in Gotti's crew, so on and so forth. So the first time I heard of him, I was watching Valuetainment. I love Valuetainment. Patrick Ben-David, that is one of my favorite podcasts. If anybody doesn't, fantastic. So anyway, Valuetainment, Patrick Ben-David, huge YouTube channel podcast. And about 2 years ago, they did a lot of gangster stuff, mafia stuff. A lot of guys were coming out of jail and writing books and podcasts, and it was a hot topic. Still is to some extent. It's kind of calming down a little bit, but for the most part, still is. Back then, it was really hot, and he had on plenty of guys. And John Alite was one of the guys that he had on. And man, what an interview! He really went in depth on how deep he was in. I mean, really, really went in depth. 18 years in prison, 2 years in a Brazilian prison. Gets out, and for the most part, has to change of life. But he's still a regular street dude. You could tell when you talk to him. We afterwards, me, John Alite, Michael Dowd, and a friend of mine who moved to Florida met us, and we all went to dinner. I mean, you could tell he's still, you could take the tiger out of the jungle. You can't take the jungle out of the tiger. It's still in him. Although he is completely legitimate, nobody's going to mess with him, but he's completely legitimate, and he has legitimate projects. He has his podcast. I think he's done movies, acting, books, podcast appearances, so on and so forth. Now, his partner, Michael Dowd, is a little different. He was a police officer. If anybody watched the documentary, The 7-5, that's pretty much what made him famous. If you haven't seen the documentary, The 7-5, watch it. Amazing documentary. It was about the 75th precinct in East New York, which is in Brooklyn. It was extremely, extremely corrupt precinct during the 70s, 80s, into the 90s. And he was probably the most corrupt cop in New York City history, one of, if not the. And he got arrested. He worked for Dominican drug lords. He worked for the Italians. He was on take for a lot of money. And basically what he would do is he would tell other up-and-coming or, other drug lords, drug gangs, and so on and so forth. He would arrest them. He would give the other guy information, whoever was on the money with him. There was a lot more to it, too. He had his own little crew, and they would actually steal and break into other drug lord dens and so on and so forth. It's pretty in-depth. He also did a lot of time. Anyway, both of these guys are out. Both of these guys has huge changes of life because they know that they made mistakes. And their podcast is really about that. It's really about gangsters, police officers, detectives, mostly about throughout the 70s, 80s, and 90s when these guys were around. Because I think they're about 60 years old now, so it's mostly in the 80s and 90s. Yeah, 80s and 90s. But they are funny and entertaining. They really are. So what happened was I had the opportunity to go down there and be on their podcast. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show a little bit. You can check it out. And, I'll stop and comment for, copyright reasons and so on and so forth. But so here we go, right? Let's see. And here we go. Okay. And play. How do we play it? Oh, there we go. I would like to play if we can. Oh, please don't do this. Let's see. Let's see. There we go.
Back again with the Elite Show, the mob, the mafia, and the man. There's the man. If you like the show, please hit the subscribe button, hit comments. We always want to hear comments. I changed my life. Yes, I did.
Yes, he did.
Special guest.
Yes, I did too. Hold on. I did too. I forgot.
This is Mike Cutler.
Yes, I did too. Thank you. John
Livia from the Serious and Silliness Podcast YouTube channel.
Very good.
And it's a pleasure and an honor to be here with you guys. It truly is.
Hey, thanks. We're looking forward to seeing you.
Did you fly down here just to be with us?
Absolutely.
Oh, that's special.
Yeah.
We could have saw you in New Jersey. Would have saved your plane ticket. What the hell? Now you're in Jersey, right?
Yeah, now I'm in Jersey. I grew up in Bensonhurst, Brooklyn. Lived in Staten Island for a little bit, and now I'm in Jersey. Yeah.
So you went from.
If you see me wearing these new shirts,
yeah,
that's right.
Nice.
John's.
These are pretty cool. So what's this?
And silliness.
Is that what that is? Okay.
It's a
all right. Well, see that I would never have figured that out.
Half gladiator, half court jester. I also have it tattooed on me.
Because I'm dyslexic, so I see it like backwards anyway.
It's really perfect saying for us too.
Yeah.
Serious and silliness.
Yeah. You gotta laugh, right? I mean, John.
Yeah, absolutely. When I'm on my show, there are some interviews that are hilarious, and there's. So what you're looking at, so basically the guy to the left with the light blue sport jacket on is Michael Dowd, and the other guy is John Alite. And you could tell they have good chemistry, so they were just interviewing, and we talked about a whole bunch of things. I mean, I'll fast forward through it. We talked about a whole bunch of things. So let's see. What else did we talk about here? let's fast forward a little bit. I don't know exactly what we. Oh, commercial. All right. Oh, another commercial. Great. Let's see. So right here, what I'm doing is I'm actually talking about. Let's see. What I'm actually doing is I'm actually talking about talking about the porno girls I had on. Let's see. Share screen, share Chrome. There we go. Let's try this again. All right, here we go. Now. Okay. So what I'm actually doing here is I'm actually talking about the porno girls that I've had on. So right here, this is Michael Dowd. He was the cop, and this is John Alite. He was the gangster. And like as you could tell, they had their own podcast, you know. So, but it's pretty. Let me tell you, man, something. It's pretty damn interesting. Their background. He was on Michael Dowd was on Joe Rogan. You're not gonna find it on YouTube anymore. You got to go to Spotify. You know. But he was also on Vlad TV. Matter of fact, I will put the Vlad TV interview. I will put he was also on Vlad TV. I will put the Valuetainment interview on here. I don't think he was on Valuetainment. No, he wasn't. In the description area so everybody could see it. But it's pretty funny. I mean, these guys are pretty good. They have good chemistry together. They're always busting on each other and so on and so forth. But right here, what I'm doing is I'm talking about one of the porno girls I had on. So here we go. It was like as 30-something time arm wrestling champion. Then I've had porno girls on.
That's where we want to go.
Yeah,
We want the porno girls.
Yeah. How's that work?
Get on our show.
I've had Sarah.
Can we get any of them
Absolutely.
on our show?
So I had
We'll switch. I'll give you a couple of ours.
Can we actually do a show with the porno girls on our show?
I think so. Yeah, because I had Alexis.
Do we need Viagra too?
Probably. With those girls.
I don't think you need it.
Sarah J told me some really good stories.
We're gonna have to get penile implants.
Yeah.
Like Castellano had.
Yeah. You like it or you don't.
I had Sarah J on, and she told me some crazy stories.
You're not gonna get hurt. You're not gonna get hurt. You're not gonna get hurt. But what's the ultimate put down is? I've seen smaller. It's like that. It's fine. No, you're the fine.
The girl calls me up. I told the story.
It's fine. I said that's not good. Don't tell me it's fine.
She calls me up. She knows one of my son's friends and whatever, and it's my son Jimmy. And she calls me up. She says that she knows me. She's talking. We're on Bluetooth, and she said they were sending pictures back and forth. And I go, I don't even know what you're talking about. She's talking about some site. So she says, yeah, you sent me a dick pic. I go, I did? She goes, yeah. I says, well, was it big? She goes, yeah. I says, definitely
that wasn't me.
Wrong guy. Yeah. Somebody's perpetrating. But tell him thank you anyway.
Thanks.
He's raising my.
So when I had Sarah J on, I asked her what was the most embarrassing moment that ever happened to you on set, and she gave me this story. She said that she had signed a contract with they live stream porn, so you're watching it live, and she's filming in Budapest, and she's 69 and this other girl, and there's a guy behind her fucking her, and they're 69, and out of nowhere, it's live, she has a period all over this girl's face.
Oh,
just
wow.
Everywhere.
Wow, that's beautiful.
And
I wish.
And then they had a cut to like another angle.
I mean, that's a gangster move.
And then take her out, and that
other girl had to throw up.
The girl was like, no, it's fine.
No, that's
all there's blood everywhere. And Sarah J's trying to clean it off and whatnot.
Don't worry about
the whole thing off.
Don't worry about
And then I asked her,
I asked her.
If you ain't got a red mustache, you ain't lived,
I mean,
bro. Let me tell you something right now.
a guy's face before.
That's like
we were hitting him.
That's like that scene from Raging Bull.
Yeah, we were back.
Wait. Did I just hear him? Did you just back out?
Of what?
You gotta get the red mustache program. If you don't get that, you ain't never lived.
You know we call him Mikey Cuts for.
You gotta get right in there.
Just cut you off and me twice.
You gotta get right in there, bro. You can't say no on that day. You have one chance.
No, can't do it.
Oh God. Yeah, they're nuts. You could say they're nuts, but they're funny. It's really funny. I mean, it's not a great interview show like a Vlad TV, but they have their own chemistry where they're just busting on each other, as you could tell, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to show another one that's actually pretty funny because I had interviewed a biker guy and I was telling him about it. And there are all these different patches on their vest. And the biker guy, who's a really good dude, his name is Danny D'Lo, really nice guy. He wouldn't tell me some of the patches because, some of them are secretive. But I have a friend that's like, oh, I know what those are. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see if I can find that. Oh, another commercial. Sorry about that. All these damn commercials, man. Oh, there we go. I found it. Okay. All right. So let's see here. Okay. So I found it. We're gonna, and this will be the last part because obviously, as you can tell, I'm not very good at this, this crap. But let's see. Let's try this again. Share screen, share, Chrome tab. There we go. Share and view tab. So we're going to try this again. Right now, this is a part about the patches, and we're going to give it another shot. So let's see.
Drank a little vial of blood. That's not really.
You don't watch those fetish movies? Come on.
No,
So
I don't.
Speaking of red mustaches, I interviewed a 1%.
You got to watch the
biker
whole
named
thing.
Danny
It's much
D'Lo.
better.
He has
I'm
his own
screwing it up here.
podcast with the Danny D'Lo Bike Club. He wouldn't tell me what bike club it was from. He said it was the Big Four. So it's either Angels, Outlaws,
I know the Big Ten, but that's basketball.
Yeah. He said it was either Angels, Outlaws, Pagans, and Banditos. He wouldn't tell me which one, but which is fine. So he must still be involved or whatever.
You said the Mongols?
He didn't say the Mongols. No.
The Mongols
no, the Mongols are big.
Pretty big.
So I was asking
I'll
about.
tell you they're big.
Oh yeah.
Pretty big.
So I was asking about the patches, and there were certain patches he wouldn't tell me about. And I said one of the patches were mustaches, but I found that they're wings. And they're all different colors. And he's like, I'd rather not talk about that. There was another one called Filthy Few. And he's like, I'd rather not talk about that. Nomads, I'd rather not talk about that.
Is he still active, guy?
I
don't
guess.
think so.
I don't think so.
Yeah.
But he just would rather not talk about it. So I called up a friend of mine, and actually he watched the interview. He calls me. And he does work on my bike because I have a Harley Davidson, and he does work on my bike. And he goes, I could tell you what those patches mean. And I was like, all right, what do they mean? So I was like, Danny wouldn't tell me. So he goes, well, the mustaches, he goes, they're wings. He goes, if it's a black one, that means you ate out a black girl. If it's a yellow one, that means you ate out an Asian girl. He goes, if it's a red one, that means you ate out a girl on her period.
There you go.
He goes, if it's a brown one, that means you ate her ass.
That's good too.
Really?
And if it's a green one, that means you ate her while knowing she had an STD.
Oh, you probably.
No, that's not right.
Let me ask you a question. As a
How do they
biker-
do that? I
Wait,
mean,
as a bike, I want to know if you got a Harley, like he got a Harley, but it has training wheels. Does that count?
I have the training wheels if I had a Harley. I ain't
That's
got
what he said.
Yeah.
You got training wheels.
Yeah,
I have all those badges, I think.
Yeah.
You got all those
I've
wings.
every wing. I had every wing.
Yeah, and he don't care either.
Did you ever have any
Wings?
No.
He's still not eating out his first girl.
Dealings with bike clubs back there when you were
Yeah.
on the streets.
One of my good friends was Pepe.
Sorry,
they call him Pepe.
ladies and
He
gentlemen.
was a Hell's Angel first chapter president, and he passed away Rest in peace for him. And I was very close with him.
Mhm.
And he became the president. We call him Pepsi. His real name was Gregory Hines. And his sister was a nice kid that grew up with us. They didn't have parents. They had a hard life.
Mhm.
And, we used to date as kids, and she worked in a bowling alley and whatever.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, so basically that's the whole thing. But I'm sorry, guys. I keep messing around here. Look at this. How you doing, boss? I found you on the Elite Show and subscribed to your channel as you have a good sense of humor. And the guy with sunglasses is hilarious too. Oh man, thank you very much. I apologize. I didn't read your message, but I really, really, really appreciate you subscribing, man. You have no idea how much it means to me. Because I don't have a big name like what time is it? Oh, good. You just messaged me. Good. I don't have a big name like, a John Alite or Michael Dowd or Larry Mazza or, these guys are big names. Sammy the Bull. These guys are big names. So they start a podcast and it jumps right to the top. Larry Mazza doesn't have a podcast. I don't think he does. He has his own streaming service. Not his own. Larry Mazza has his own show on a streaming service. It's Plex TV. And on Plex TV, which is actually a really good streaming service. It's free too. Because it's got commercials, obviously. I think you could pay like not much, $10 a month for no streaming services. But at the same time, let me get rid of this. Okay, good. But you could anyway, on Plex TV, there's a channel called Mob TV, and he has an interview show. Larry Mazza is different. He's not a typical street television. Larry Mazza is very smart, very business savvy human being. Anyway. So when you come over and you subscribe, man, I really appreciate you because I'm trying. I'm just a regular dude. I'm a blue collar dude just trying to work it out and trying to make some extra money on the side. And, I'm trying to grow my channel. So I really appreciate you coming up, man. So what I'm going to do is, and thank you for having a good sense of humor. Check out my other stuff. You want to see good sense of humor, you got to check out my Guy Talk where I come up with my friends. You got to check out my news. I do a news thing with my friend Justin. Oh, it's really funny because we're all regular New York guys, and nobody ever realizes how funny we are. You ever think when you go to work and people go, "Oh, you guys in a reality show would be so funny." That's what my show turned into. My show turned into the actual reality show that people say we should have on my channel. So for the most part, I went on that show. It meant a lot to me. It's obviously been a big help. I had a little bit of a jump in subscribers, and I continue to push. I have a really, really big interview coming up this week. Jake Cutler, if anybody knows bodybuilding, Jake Cutler is probably one of the greatest bodybuilders that ever lived. He was a bodybuilder, 4-time Mr. Olympia, and now he is a multi-millionaire businessman. The man just whatever he touches turns to gold. It's unbelievable. And we talked about how he became so successful. We talked about bodybuilding. We talked about his childhood. We talked about his future. It's a tremendous interview, and I was honored to have him on. So he's going to be on. That's going to be coming out on Wednesday. I'll probably put a little teaser out on Tuesday. Who else? I'm working on a bunch of other interviews coming out. We're going to do the news again, me and my friend Justin, toward the end of the week, probably most likely Friday or Saturday. The Friday or Saturday we'll do it. And then, next week we'll do Guy Talk. But I'm trying to get some more interviews, and it should be really, 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 really fun. All right, I'm going to let you guys go. I don't want this to be too long. I just wanted to show everybody a little clip. And do me a favor, subscribe to my channel, man. It means a lot. Anybody who sees this, like and subscribe to my channel. It doesn't cost anything. And I have a lot of good content. I mean, a lot. I'm really into this, and I really deliver. I truly believe in this channel, and my YouTube channel, and my podcast. And so I appreciate every single one of you, because the more people that subscribe, the more popular that I will get. And I can't do it without you guys. I know it's cliche, but it's the truth. If you don't subscribe and watch and share, I'm worthless. So it's the truth. But I hope you enjoyed those little clips. I tried to put the more more of the funny clips on there. I mean, it's a whole thing. I was on there for like an hour and 10 minutes or something like that. But I'm going to put the link to the John Alite show that I was on, Elite show rather, that I was on. Go over there, give him a subscribe. He has plenty of good. I think Dan Severn, the MMA fighter, is a new guy. He just had his interview. That was the one right after me. He has plenty of great interview. I mean, he had Bobby Borriello's son on there, who was a gangster. They're in the 80s and 90s. I mean, it was 70s, 80s, and 90s. I mean, yeah, he got killed in 91 or something like that, right? Yeah. So he has a great show as well. And I'm going to put the interview with Michael Dowd from Vlad TV, and I'm going to put the interview of John Alite when he was on Valuetainment in the description area as soon as I'm done here. And that's it, man. All right, I'm out of here. Thanks a lot, fellas and ladies. If anybody's letting the ladies watching, I doubt it. Most of the people watching my show are guys, because that's all I know how to do. I don't know any girl stuff. What do I know? What do I know about the restaurant business? I know nothing about the restaurant business. I just know how to sit down and order a meal. Anyway. All right, fellas. I'm out. Thanks again. Later.